Good morning, everyone. As you can see, it's dark outside. I start my mornings pretty dark. Just a tradition. I always get up early and with the crack of dawn. It's Tuesday. Everybody is pretty much, I think, going back to work now. The holidays has officially ended. The way they fell, a lot of good time off. A lot of people just enjoying some downtime, and I hope you guys did too, with friends and family. Now, I see the channel's getting some traction, and I see a word that's been used a lot, and it kind of keeps catching my attention every time people say it. They use the word anime bubble. I don't know what people usually mean by the anime bubble. I guess they mean the home video market. So to me, the bubble, or whatever we're talking, is really the death of the home video market. It's still around, of course. People are buying Blu-rays. People are doing that. It actually has made a bit of a comeback because now what's happened is it's kind of like more traditional. People in the past, the only way they could watch this stuff was pretty much a little history lesson. To go all the way back, you would go to cons or through friends. You would find a friend and who subtitled it. You would get these VHS tapes mailed to you, or kind of a guy would not really download. Back then you would have a laser disc. You would buy it from Japan. It was expensive. The person would then do a subtitling, put it on the tape, sell the tape, with $20-30 sometimes, not including shipping. It got expensive, and that was the only way they could watch shows. There were a few shows on TV, but people didn't even know they were Japanese. Battle of the Planets, Robotech, all those kind of shows. The American producers would change them up. So that was your only way to watch it. So that model kept going through the 2000 up to 2000 something. It was pretty much all the way up to the internet. And once that happened, the companies who were more of that traditional model, it was very hard for us to just kind of make a sudden shift. In the beginning, the internet was pretty good for a lot of companies, including myself. We actually, movies like Machine Girl, they were big advances paid by Netflix and these guys. But at that time, the home video market was really dying, and the biggest sign was the death of what's his name, Suncoast, or Musicland, as people know it. That was a big hit for a lot of companies. They owed millions of dollars to people like myself and stuff, and they couldn't pay. They went under. Then the other thing was the internet was becoming so prolific, and there was speed subbers, because these people wanted to watch it the same time they were watching it in Japan. They wanted it subtitled. They wanted that day, that morning. And these guys, a lot of people, there were groups started, and there was all the e-penis and this kind of thing of who does it faster and better, and they were throwing it up there with the BitTorrents and all that kind of thing, and that was the way they were watching it. So from that standpoint, that's really the bubble and how it kind of burst, or whatever you want to call it. But in a sense, there was always anime out there. There was always people watching it, and more people are watching it now probably than ever before. More people are consuming it, and whatever. It's just the model just is not, I think the jury's still out if this model of subscription or ad-based or whatever you want to call it is gonna work long term as far as productions go. The Japanese have one big advantage in that they make pretty much most of their money, or a big chunk of their money, from Japan. Believe it or not, the US now is not the biggest consumer, or consumer of the anime, even online or whatever. It's China. You can talk to any of the publishers. China is the biggest. They're having problems right now with censorship and stuff like that. I don't know. And in COVID, I don't know what happened, as far as that goes. But the good thing about Japan, they always kind of relied on their own market to finance the projects. But, it's still, the shows and everything are always going to be geared for Japan. So as far as anime bubble goes, back to that, I don't know. I think it's just really there was, the change. Everything happened. The old time companies couldn't really switch fast enough because they were locked into contracts, locked into how many people were working there. Media Blasters up to 40, 50. You don't need that anymore. It was too hard to make the change fast enough, and a lot of them suffered. A lot of them went under, and stuff like that. But talking about death, going under, and all that kind of stuff, Media Blasters in its very early days did have one big problem that happened very early. And probably it's a story that people don't really know, but it's from a title called Gappa. Gappa the Triphibian Monsters. I don't know if people remember, but there was a time where there was the new Godzilla coming out. I forgot which one, but there was a new Godzilla coming out, and everybody wanted to get monster movies, rubber monster movies from Japan. I think there was a company called Scimitar. They got a bunch of them. We got a bunch. We got really just one because we were small and we couldn't. But our acquisition person remembered Gappa from Nikatsu. And let's just say that title got us a little bit of trouble in a way probably no one would expect. We were actually sued over it. So right now, the sun is beginning to come up. I have to start my work as far as Ubering and that kind of thing, and the car's going into the shop. When I get back to the factory, as I call it, I will continue the story. So I'll leave you on a little bit of pins and needles. But yes, I will tell you the story, and you guys have a good day. Good morning.
Hello everyone, I made it back to the factory. This is my office. It's a pretty nice place. The factory though can be a bit dank, a bit cold, especially at times, but we do okay here. I'm into the paranormal stuff, and if there's a place that's probably haunted, it's gotta be this place. Anyway, so I left you off on the Gappa story. Yes, Gappa. Here it is, Gappa on Blu-ray. We did this just recently. It sold very well. Rubber monster movies definitely move, and people remember Gappa from, I think it was called the Planet of the Prehistoric Monsters or something. It was on TV for a little while in the United States. It was a pretty cool movie. If you, before Jurassic Park, there was Gappa. If you see the story, you'll know what I mean. But anyway, what happened was back in the day, when we did license it and release it, back then you did a subtitle tape and you did a dub tape. We had access to the original English dub that was used back in the day, and it was a pretty good dub. Everything was fine, but we decided for the hardcore fans, let's give them that Japanese version with the subtitles. Well, anyway, lo and behold, we did it, and we treated the dub one as like everyone would watch it for children and everything. We figured the subtitle one would be just kind of like the collector, an older person, that kind of thing. So I didn't know it, but one of the production people decided, let's put a bunch of trailers on the subtitle version, which wasn't a clamshell. We tried to really give it a nice feel. So what happened was, when we did that, he put trailers of our latest shows. It was like Zero Woman, Samurai Armageddon, and a couple others. The Samurai Armageddon one was a bit racy. There was no nudity per se, but it was a little bit of blood, a little bit of stuff in there. And it was a little fast action. It was definitely racy, but nothing crazy. It wasn't like a kiddie video or anything like our adult animation, the hentai. So what happened was, he put the trailers on there. We sent it out. Suddenly, something happens where we get a call from Tower. I don't know if anybody remembers Tower Video, but we get a call from Tower saying, we have a complaint, and the person has filed a lawsuit against us because this video was not made for children, and some child watched it and has been harmed by it. So basically, we get this just like in disbelief. It's Gappa or whatever. At that time, we didn't know it was the trailers that were the problem. So what happened was this person, a grandfather had bought this tape for his grandson, and he gave it to him, and somehow the child saw this trailer, and the parents and they thought that he was like harmed mentally or something happened, and that we had to, there was something like they wanted to sue us over the child, being upset by it. We were just kind of thrown. We didn't understand it, but we did understand their lawsuit. There was a real piece of paper there, and there was a lawyer there willing to work for free in California pro bono to take the case. So they took the case. We had to protect Tower as part of our deal. We hired lawyers, and it went to court. Our lawyer did wind up getting it out of court without even having to go to any case at all, or it was pretty much thrown out. It was in the state of California, and California has definitely more liberal as far as, freedom of speech. It all fell under the freedom of speech issue. So we were able to go through this and get through it, but the cost of it for Media Blasters at time was something like $40,000-$50,000 in fees between lawyers and everything, or somewhere in that number. And at a company our size and a company our, what we are, that was tough. So, but we did get through it. We worked it out with the lawyer. We worked it out with everyone, and we were able to pay them. But that's the story of how Gappa almost made Media Blasters go away. But the thing was, we did get through it, and we kept going. This was very early in the days of Media Blasters. So the story there. I'll keep with the channel, keep doing this kind of stuff. Little stories that nobody knows, little tidbits. Also, people are mentioning titles, so I'll try to focus one on Voltron. I forgot almost about Voltron, Kenshin, Zim, all our big ones, and as I do cons and reviews and stuff. So definitely subscribe, hit that like button, and we want to get this channel popular, and we want people to keep coming back to Media Blasters and hear what we're doing, what we're about. Again, have a great rest of your day. I always say stay healthy, and most important, be active. Nothing more important. All right? You guys have a great one. Take care. We got a lot of work to do today.